So Larry, tell us a little
Sure.
bit about
My name's
yourself.
Larry Murphy. I've been a customer of Flexera's for 5 years now. I am in the IT asset management space, technical lead for one of your clients, and I love working with Flexera, and I'm glad to see that Flexera is making a lot of advances. I guess they're creating their own brand themselves by revamping this community, which is amazing to me. So I'm glad to see it.
What is like one of the most interesting things sort of you've seen in the community, or unusual things that you've seen that you wouldn't have expected, other than the speed to respond?
So one of the things that we have, because so we are a cloud-based customer, right? And there's a lot of on-premise based things that I enjoy seeing, right? Just because I like to see the flip side. So what is the difference between the two? I know the main difference is the back end, stuff like that. But
right.
Are there different problems that you may have versus what I have, right? And so I like to see that. And that's why I'm saying I like to tag a lot of things too, because I like going back and saying, hey, listen, that may be a database issue that they have, right? So we have databases myself, we work on databases. Maybe it's an issue I've seen before with a database or a back-end problem. So maybe I can help in that way versus it's not a Flexera problem, it's a back-end problem.
It's a global problem,
sure,
right?
Yeah. So I like to look at that. And that's where I see I also try to get out of my comfort zone and go into other products and take a look and say, man, do I know anything about that? If not, guess what? I'm learning right now.
They must love you where you work. All these things you're telling me, I'm like, I want you to work on my team. Don't worry. Don't worry, Larry's employer. We're not going to steal him. How much time do you spend typically in the community, like weekly
Sure, I try to go in at least once a day, like even waiting here, I was on the community and seeing if there's anything I could help with. But I try to go at least once a day. Okay. And especially if I know I've asked a question that I want to have, and that they may have follow-up on it. Yeah. And that's because I know if I'm asking a question and I'm not getting an answer fairly quickly, I'm going to try to go somewhere else, right? I'm going to get a bad taste in my mouth. So I'm trying to say, hey, at least once a day I will be on. If I ask a question or I provide an answer, I want to give you a response if you responded back to me. One of the things I like doing is going and looking at other people's posts and tagging them. Yeah. Put tags on them, because that way I know it's going to help me when I go back there. I'm looking for something specific. Hey, this is AUT specific. Well, I can go look at tags and say, now here's all these posts about AUT. Well, I'm selfish too, because it helps me.
But there's a giving part to you too. It's so lovely. It's because you're making the community improve for yourself, yes, but it's also helping all these other people. Is there anything on the community that you go there and you're like, darn it, I wish you had this, or it would be great if there was a section here, or I could find this out more quickly?
I would say I've always had an issue with finding product documentation. Okay. Right? Flexera's done a great job, better at it when they put it online with the products as well. I would still say there's some stuff there. Searching, it's still, I'd say there's a need for improvement. Being able to find documentation or even knowledge-based articles, right? Create more knowledge-based articles. Open those up to the public. Because again, from a self-service perspective, I want all of that at my fingertips before I go to that next level. And depending on priority of that problem. Quicker access to information is better for me. Flexera has some fast responders.
Really? Talk about that a little bit.
I would say there's a few people that how did they get there so are they like click quickly? but it's good, because that means I remember back a few years ago when Flexera, you didn't have a response for years. Right? And so now it's
that would
10
upset
minutes.
me. It hurts my heart.
And that's why I am so impressed with how you guys have taken that and improved it. It was an issue you guys had, and you guys improved upon it, and now you have responses within minutes.
Something interesting you said was you're mostly a cloud customer, but you're really curious about on-premise on-premises. I get corrected all the time. That's the correct word. And so it almost sounds like we have a lot of customers that are bridging that gap, right? Because they have both, because the world requires both, particularly for a large organization. And so do you find that it's helpful to sort of see that bridge so that you can work between those in your own organization and sort of understand that?
Well, and it's not just Flexera products that have gone from on-prem to cloud, right? That's the trend in the market. And so if you can see the dynamic between somebody doing a Flexera on-prem to a Flexera cloud and see the process that takes, you can apply that to another product. I mean, and some of the things, I mean, they're similar to different products, but there's a database and there's a front end, right? And there's in the middleware. So take that, and maybe some of those problems that you're having are the same for that as it is for Flexera. And that's what I like to see so I think it's valuable to look at both, just so you know, you may be an expert at the cloud version, right? But if you know the differences between that and the on-prem, doesn't that make you a little bit more knowledgeable than
for sure?
I'm an expert at cloud. Well, I'm an expert at cloud, but I know the on-prem stuff as well. Maybe not an expert here, but at least I know it.